What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video of mine. I was gonna do this on Monday, but I wanted to do it now instead because why not? Why the fuck not? A couple days ago, Thursday night, for me that is, because my time zone's Eastern time zone, so it was about maybe 11 or 12 at night. And if you don't know who Colossal Is Crazy, he is basically a fucking clown.
Kill you all.
That has a podcast, and correct me if I'm wrong. I could be completely wrong. I'm pretty sure his co-host is KeemStar. Again, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I've never really seen every podcast of his. I just ended up watching this one because the latest one, this last one, was with LeafyIsHere. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And this is my opinion, so we all have our opinions, and that's fine. So, though, basically, if you don't know who KeemStar is, and if you don't know who LeafyIsHere, KeemStar does his own, he's like the host of his show on YouTube called Drama Alert, and he talks about a bunch of stuff on the YouTubes, basically, and LeafyIsHere is a YouTuber who is more of a gaming commentary, where he would roast weird people, basically. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Or he'll, like, talk about other shit and stuff. So, I guess for, what was it, 3, 4, 5 months, I think? I can't really remember. They used to be friends on YouTube, I guess. And there was something about business. You know, it was KeemStar and Leafy and a few other people, I guess. They were going to go and do some business stuff. And so, basically, a bunch of drama ended up happening between all of them. And it's more of a he said, she said thing. Well, in this case, it's a he said, or he said, they said, really. It turned into KeemStar saying shit about Leafy. Also, KeemStar's been exposed for trolling people and doing some weird shit. And then also claiming some people were pedophiles and all this crazy stuff. And I'll leave a link to the podcast down below in the description. So, eventually, they ended up, their friendship was over. That was it. It turned into, like, a bunch of shit where KeemStar went behind Leafy's back and said some shit to his friends, calling him names and shit, I guess, and even to him directly, I guess, through Skype. I'm not really gonna get too far into, like, too much into detail. You're gonna have to watch the whole thing. It's just the whole podcast was basically crazy. Again, this is my complete opinion, but through the whole podcast, KeemStar bullshitted his fucking way. Like, what the fuck? Just, you're a fucking grown man. Again, if I'm wrong, correct me on this, but he's also a co-host, so he should be more responsible and more professional about this. And he ended up, just like, he basically took, because Leafy was a guest on the show, and basically took, like, the whole show. Like, he took over the whole show. Leafy was here trying to give him his reasons why he really didn't like KeemStar, and he had, like, a few reasons, but KeemStar just kept going off and interrupting him like there was no tomorrow.
Fucking lie about
people. Yes,
no. I did not fucking lie. No, I did not fucking lie. I did not. Okay, you're gonna let me talk or not, dude? You talk about me all the time on the fucking podcast, and then you don't even let me fucking talk.
So, you know, to me that's very unprofessional. You know, it was just going in circles, and KeemStar was definitely getting annoyed at Leafy for going back and making references to his first or second reasons, which I don't blame him, because whenever I'm talking to someone and I'm being interrupted or, you know, something like that, or if they're not listening, I end up starting all over again just to make sure, one, they're listening, and also, two, to backtrack what I was saying so I don't forget. That's another thing. And the podcast was supposed to be Leafy, and I know it was Leafy versus KeemStar, but again, he didn't give Leafy a chance to even fucking talk. You know, if I was in KeemStar's shoes, I would respect what Leafy has to say and let him talk, and then once he's done, I would give my own view on everything. I mean, Leafy barely even interrupted KeemStar until the point where KeemStar was interrupting too much and Leafy was trying to get involved. Again, that was like, he was just trying to bullshit, maybe gain his fans back or whatever. And then, ironically, there was a point where Leafy, again, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this shit I'm saying, I'm pretty sure there was a couple times where Leafy did say, you know, you told my friends, or you told, you know, you even called me out and called me names and blah, 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 you know. And KeemStar really tried to deny it. And that was another thing. So, near the end of the video, they really go like KeemStar just goes out of control, which was ridiculous. Again, unprofessional, especially if you're a co-hosting a podcast, or it's very unprofessional. Even if it is KeemStar versus Leafy or Leafy's versus KeemStar, it doesn't matter. Be professional about it. And you're older too. So, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Leafy was saying, KeemStar said this and this and that, calling me names and saying to my friends.
You then went to multiple other YouTubers and pitched the same exact idea to them, and those people came to us and told us, hey, look, I'm not really involved with this and whatever the fuck, but he was ultimately calling you guys pussies in the Skype call where he was pitching it. He called you guys pussies, retards, and ultimately that you guys didn't know anything about business.
And that's not
KeemStar
true.
did not.
And that is not true. What you're saying
Will you admit
right
to the
now
one
is
time where
not
I had
true.
the guy fucking testifying, though?
And, the whole time, KeemStar again was denying that shit. And so near the end, Leafy was trying to get through his points, but then KeemStar goes off like crazy and started bullshitting his way through the whole thing again. And eventually got to the point where he really, literally started calling him names like cunt and all this shit. And I'm like,
dude, what the fuck?
Dude, you just said you never did that shit, but now here you go, fucking calling him names and all this shit.
And you're selfish little cunt. You wouldn't fucking do it.
And I understand LeafyIsHere does that kind of shit on his channel where he talks about other YouTubers. And in my opinion, it's a completely different scenario. When you're friends with someone, even if you're trying to be funny, I know I've done it with my friends, we all call each other names, but it's just for fun, it's once and then that's it. You don't do it behind someone's back yeah, that guy's such a dick, it's it's so messed up, especially when you know that person. But what Leafy does is completely different. He actually finds these cringy videos or these cringy weird people, and he does roast them and all that shit. And he has reasons, and I don't blame him. I mean, it's a completely different story than what they were doing. So, another thing was Leafy was trying to even say, he could have done things differently by making less videos about KeemStar, and he was honest about that.
Yeah. I will admit, 5 was a lot. I think I could have really summed him down to 3, right?
But
and I'll admit that.
Still, KeemStar was just, not forgiving. And then there was a point at the end, Colossal Is Crazy asked the question, do you think, something around the lines of, do you think there's any hope of you guys burying the hatchet or something like that? But it ended right off there. He didn't even let them. Well, they probably did answer, but he cut it off right there. Claiming on his Twitter account, claims there's going to be a second part. So I don't know if it just carries on or if that's the answer will be revealed on his next podcast. So we'll wait and see. I doubt there's that would ever happen. I really sincerely doubt it because of this bullshit, And I think they could have buried the hatchet if KeemStar chilled the fuck out. I mean, holy shit. Again, it's so unprofessional. I would never, if that was me, I would never do that. I'm gonna let you explain your side of the story, and I'm gonna explain mine afterwards. That's how it should have been. Especially when you had a business relationship and supposedly a friendship at the time that ended eventually. It's just a whole bunch of fucking bullshit. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it was really pointless for Leafy to even be on there. I think there would have been a chance for them to make things different, bury the hatchet by if KeemStar just chilled out a little bit and stopped with the name calling. I mean, I think there would have been a chance. There was points where they even all laughed a little bit. I mean, I don't know if Leafy's laugh was real or not, but still, it's oh wow, they're actually maybe things are gonna be different. But no, I mean, I've never really watched KeemStar, and I try to stay out of that drama stuff, but this is just crazy stuff, and it just makes me side more on Leafy's side. I mean, just because of the fact that it was just unprofessional of KeemStar, and the fact that he did call him names near the end. Before the upload, when I was gonna watch it, I knew right off the bat, I'm this is gonna be either awkward or they're really gonna argue. And I didn't think of it much, but I also thought maybe things are gonna be different. Maybe they're gonna be chill, but no, it never ended. You'll see. I'll definitely leave the link down below so you can check that out. Again, it was all of he said, they said, and then there was times where I think it was definitely unfair towards Leafy. It seemed, the whole thing seemed more of a intervention towards Leafy. I don't know if I want to call it that, but it just seemed it was just it didn't seemed to side on his favor only because of Keemstar being either the co-host or just being there. So, and then I'm pretty sure one of the other co-hosts, I don't remember his name, it sounded more like he was Keemstar's friend. He was like saying how, you know, if it wasn't for Keemstar, this wouldn't blah blah blah, you know. So that wasn't even helpful either, and I don't think they should have had that, you know. I mean, I think Colossal is more on the neutral side for both of them. He's not like favoring one side, because there's times where he backed up Leafy's point, but then there was other times where he backed also Keemstar's. I don't know if that's because, again, co-host thing, who knows. All I can say is if Leafy, if you're watching this, I suggest you making a video of what you wanted to really say, because that was complete bullshit. That you didn't even, you know, it was hard to know what Leafy was trying to say just because he was getting interrupted. That was another thing. I was like, oh, okay, Leafy's going to explain, but then it's like, okay, here's Keemstar. Here's Keemstar.
What is up, Drum Alert Nation? I'm your host, Killer Keemstar. Let's get right into the news.
You know, and I think, you know, he really took over the show, and it should have been more about Leafy. Like, even Leafy felt, why am I even here? Like, why am I doing this if I can't even talk? And that's true. If you can't talk, there's no point. It really isn't. But again, this is all my opinions, you know, so I know everybody has different opinions. I'm sure some people are going to be like, oh, well, Keemstar got screwed over. How he acted on the show tells me, you know, he's a bullshitter. And that is complete bullshit. You don't act like that. It was definitely a fucking mess. That's all I can say. I think out of radio shows and any podcast I've ever heard, this was definitely got to be in the craziest shit ever. But yeah, everybody has their opinion. You know, don't get mad at me because I'm siding on one side. I think if Keemstar calmed the fuck down, shit would have been a lot better. That's all I can say. You know, I mean, Leafy definitely tried to keep his cool. Yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, I didn't want to talk about much because I didn't want to give it away. I felt like you guys should watch it for yourselves and do what you think, you know. Also, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, especially if you listen to the podcast. So definitely leave a comment saying your thoughts about it. Sorry you had to go through that, Leafy. I mean, it's over and done with now. You know, you guys can just finally move on. Like I said, the one thing I think Leafy should do is really make a video trying to explain his side that he couldn't really explain in the podcast. I mean, I know it's mostly going to be his viewers. Another thing, too, that was brought up, I do want to say before I end this video. One thing for sure, there was something about Keemstar leaking someone's Skype. Supposedly it was an accident. And then there was accusations, you know, like he knew it was there. I don't know the whole story. I have to actually listen to it again. Keemstar kept saying it was an accident, blah, 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 blah. In my opinion, you know, you really need to be careful. It doesn't matter if it's an accident. You should be careful, you know, especially when you're taking a snapshot or something of your screen with people's potential personal info. And the big thing was, Leafy was like, well, you know, saying that, you know, his information was like his actual full first and last name were on his Skype. And then everybody else's defense against Leafy was that, well, it's also on YouTube. So Leafy's defense was that, well, only people that are into this guy's YouTube account, like this YouTube channel, they're the only ones that are going to see it. And the people that were harassing this guy's family and all this shit were people that watched Keemstar. Their defense against Leafy was that, well, it wouldn't have mattered. They probably would have still harassed him either way. So Leafy again went back to saying, you know, it's a completely different story. That he thinks that, even with his full name on the YouTube account, didn't happen before, or the URL, rather.
But
How
what about
come
the
you have
Skype,
not
though?
corrected
Because the
that
Skype would
story?
not have been
How come
public. Can I finish? Or just go on? You had a question or something?
His Skype was his legal name. Anybody could have
It
found
was his
it.
actual legal name. Anyone could have found it, but you released that to a bunch of fucking different people. If
By an
Leafy is here
accident.
It was his
my
URL
fucking...
for his YouTube channel. I mean, I don't
But
think
he's
it matters at this
releasing
point.
it to Keemstar's entire audience. I feel like there's a huge difference between
I don't
someone...
think it really
Fuck's sake.
matters. I mean,
You
it's
don't think it really
literally his
matters?
URL.
I can kind of agree with Leafy on this. You have a different fan base, especially if you have different types of what you do on your channel. You're going to have a different fan base. Even people that watch Pyrocynical, right? he does a lot of similar shit to what Leafy does, but he probably has a different fan base. I even seen people like saying, "Oh, you're so much better than Leafy," and even on Leafy's channel, "Oh, you're so much better than Pyro, Cynical." So it's like you have a different fan base, and if there's anybody that is a fan of KeemStar, whoever's channel that was that he put the information out there by accident, supposedly, they are gonna harass this guy, especially if KeemStar did say anything bad. I don't know if he did or not, but because his fan base is going to be loyal to him. I think Leafy did have a good defense. It's just that, having 3 against 1 just looks bad for him. Again, Leafy, I think you really should talk about this shit on your channel to get your shit across, at least to your fans. It doesn't matter if it's getting across to their fans or whatever. As long as it's getting across to your fans, that's all that matters, really. It's not fair that you couldn't explain your shit. That's my complete opinion. Again, like I said before, if you guys have listened to the podcast, leave a comment on your thoughts below. To anyone else, I guess also leave your thoughts on what I've talked about. And if there's other information that I should have talked about, I'll talk about it again next time, my next video for a little bit. And please don't forget to like this video and share it, because that would be awesome. Until next time, guys, see ya fucking later. Peace out.
We're back so many times.
Let me
you
fucking
literally
talk.
backstab me
Dude,
for fucking
when are you gonna
views
fucking finish?
and money to get ahead
Daniel.
on YouTube. Because
Daniel.
Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel.